Good Monday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs and motorcycles and the dogs, the attitudes, the conversations. Good Monday morning there. Thanks for tuning my channel. If you're a regular, if anybody's new, appreciate you giving me a chance to talk and share my views and ideas and thoughts that maybe you can relate with. And wow, what a beautiful, not just a beautiful day. I mean, it's just incredible how the weather here in this Northern Virginia, Maryland area is just incredibly beautiful. I mean, if anybody's crying the blues, be like, why? The weather is just really nice. And it's a season of giving. Tis the season of giving because we have all the holidays upon us. If you're a Thanksgiving participant, if you're a Christmas participant, or Hanukkah, or whatever it may be, or the, what do they call it? The holiday celebration instead of anything. But anyways, hey, here we are. It's the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. What a great vehicle. Yesterday, after the car show, I took the wife and the kid up to Gettysburg to a really nice restaurant. And we followed Chris and Shannon on their Indian and their Harley. Chris has the Indian Springfield, and I guess Shannon has the lowrider or whatever. I can't keep track of all these damn motorcycles. But the whole point is, instead of me riding my motorcycle yesterday, I decided to give in and get my wife to be part of it. So it's a great thing. We had a great time. And yesterday I was leaving the car show. If you watch my channel, I said we're going home and riding bikes. Well, I decided to give in on that idea and give the wife some time to be with the family and friends. So we had a great time. So you're hearing the word give. Give. I thought to myself, have we had the give conversations? And I just think it's so appropriate for the time of year that's upon us. And Veterans Day is coming up this Saturday, the 11th. Elections are tomorrow. I'm wearing the Heroes collection from Indian, which that's when you buy the Indian gear, paraphernalia. You're donating to those that serve in our country, which I think that's a great thing. And then another reason I'm on the give is because Tactical Mechs, one of my subscribers, heard me talk here a while back about me giving something away. And it's pretty cool because he obviously is a really good listener because he picked up on it and nobody else did. I said I'd give away something, and so I'm giving him something because he listened to my video, and I think it's rightfully deserved that he's the only one that reached out and said, wow, I'll take that. So you're probably thinking, what are you giving away? You giving away a car? Yeah, well, I'll give you away the car payment with it. But now giving him is my Tabs exhaust, okay? So I have the exhaust on the Indian Challenger that I just didn't like. Come on, Pops, let's get the dogs in the office so to get into chaos. Come on, you flea bags. The flea bag situation is definitely in better order here. And for those that watch my channel, they may be like, wow, you got all this Indian gear on. I swear you were just so frustrated. Hey, Willow! Where's the Will dog? You're so frustrated, Indian. I'm amazed you're even wearing the Indian gear. You know, in some aspects, I know. It's just crazy on what I did this past weekend that really got me reinvigorated about the Indian brand. I'm glad I really took the time to change out my exhaust on my Indian Challenger. So over here is a big old box. See that box over here? This box is going to Tactical Mech's home. Pretty cool. He's based here in San Diego, California. He's military, but his really where he lives is here in Virginia. So not too far away, really, from me per se. So that's pretty cool. And he's had an Indian Challenger. And during one of my videos, he heard me say that I don't like that exhaust, and I'm just gonna, what am I gonna do with it? Am I just gonna store it in the corner here? And I said, heck, I'll just give it to somebody. And so I got really motivated. On Saturday afternoon, I had time to dedicate to take off that exhaust. So factory exhaust on the bike. Right out of the gate, I bought the Tabs exhaust. Removed that exhaust to put the Tabs on. That was over a year ago. That would have been like last, probably July or August. I've ridden the bike, not a lot. And I've been thinking about selling the bike, but then I kind of felt like that's too bad because I told Tactical Mechs that I would give him that exhaust. So anyways, I got motivated to put the Indian slip-on mufflers. Now, whether you realize it or not, if you watch my channel, you kind of know this, but Indian no longer sells an uprated, louder slip-on muffler. You can't get the Indian brand. Indian's out of the mufflers, which is so disappointing because you have to go to aftermarket now. And Indian, I guess, is just concerned about the, whatever, the agendas, if you know what I mean. So anyways, but me doing that, I got motivated as well to do an oil change on the motorcycle. And then I got really motivated to get on the Indian Challenger and ride this motorcycle. Because I started thinking to myself, I barely have ridden this motorcycle. You've watched my channel, you see this motorcycle has a measly, maybe 580 miles. So powered on here. And I just started, 582 miles. I rode it Saturday evening, just around the neighborhood, basically. And I really started saying to myself, does this motorcycle at 40 miles an hour do the same thing that my Pursuit does? And for somebody watching my channel right now, they could probably be like, man, we've seen this Indian conversation so much that it's just kind of like, is it getting boring? Well, I'm sure in some aspects, some people that aren't the motorcycle enthusiasts could get that way. But here's the thing. I have totally, in my view, opened Pandora's box on the Indian Pursuit because there's so many people now that are starting to raise their hand and share that they're seeing problems on these Indian Pursuits. So once again, for me, I'm thinking, it just makes no sense. I don't remember my first Indian Challenger. I remember my first Indian Challenger I got in November 2019 having any type of shake in the handlebars. And for those channel, the Indian Pursuit is the tour pack of this motorcycle, meaning it has a tour pack back here, and then it has what you call lowers, which is an area that gives you protection from the air coming in on your legs and feet, and a storage compartment. It's a really nice setup. So that's the main difference between the Challenger series versus the Pursuit series. And it just makes no sense why my Indian Pursuit and others out there, at a certain speed, this handlebar starts to shake. It's the wobble. Okay, so it starts going back and forth. And I have video of that. And yet, so once again, I started questioning myself. I haven't ridden this motorcycle in so long. I got motivated for the Tactical Mechs to get those mufflers off and do all my work. And I rode it down the road, and I have video, if you watch my channel, of me riding this motorcycle, and it's flawless. It's an incredible motorcycle. To the point I'm like, why would I sell this motorcycle? To the point now, so many people, when I first got this Harley-Davidson CVO 121, 2023, so many people want me to do back-to-back rides. And I'm trying to be diplomatic about both brands. But, I mean, the Indian, in so many ways, wins over the Harley. I mean, the Indian really is the nicer product, but the Harley-Davidson just is such a different type of ride. But the bang for the buck, it's the Indian Challenger. Now, if you ask me about the Indian Pursuit versus a Harley-Davidson tour bike, I'm going to tell you the Harley-Davidson tour bike, because something is wrong with that design of that Pursuit. Something's wrong. So hopefully for me, I'm giving a lot of information. It seems like my information I'm giving to others is starting to populate, and more people are starting to raise their hand going, you know what, I've got a Pursuit. I get this type of shake at those 30, 35, 40 mile an hour speeds. So we'll kind of leave it at that. Thought the giving conversation would be more, stay tuned. This week we'll get more of a finalized, hopefully, resolution, whatever you want to call it, to the Indian Pursuit. Be very interesting. That won't happen until probably Wednesday or Thursday. So anyway, so the giving idea came from me giving the exhaust to Tactical Mechs, a subscriber of mine. But I thought to myself as well, boy, giving. For me, we have the givers in life and we have the takers in life. And I think to myself, if you look at my collection, and some people, I know some people, it can irk some people because it's like, oh, this guy just shows off all his cars and he's just bragging about how wealthy he is and he's just arrogant, and that isn't who I am. I'm just a crazy man that just loves to buy cars. Do I own these outright? I do not. Do every one of these have a car payment? They do. Am I crazy? I'm a crazy man. That's just who I am. That's why I think people, subscribe to my channel, watch my channel, because they see, well, I'm sure some people are like, I'm not as crazy as I thought I was. I have like 6 or 8 vehicles, but this freaking guy has like 20 or 30 vehicles. So for me, in the giving aspect, I thought to myself, wow, if you start adding up how much I've given to others through just my purchases of vehicles, of the trucks and cars and motorcycles, it's huge. I thought to myself, wow, if you factor that the average car tax on most of these vehicles are maybe $2,000 each, meaning the state income tax guy and even the localities get some of these taxes as well when you buy these cars. And I know each state is different, they have different laws, but if you just look at me, I've explained to you many times that I think I'm up to like 60 vehicle purchases since last year to this year. So if you take that, and let's just say the average sales tax for each of these transactions was $2,000. I think some are more, some are less, but let's just say $2,000. That's $120,000 that I've contributed to the tax man. That's just in the sales tax of the vehicle. All right, and once again, I'm factoring the motorcycles, the trucks, the cars. A lot of these things are very expensive. So for me, I've given my own states a lot of money. If you don't live in Virginia, you don't know about this tax. These vehicles that sit in my garage, they have what they call personal property tax. I'm sure many, many people that are my age and have vehicles, because a lot of states have this stuff, they charge you on a rate that you have to pay for having your vehicle in your driveway in the state that you live. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. It's really bad. So in one year, it was really about like a 2-year, it was through the pandemic, so I get hit really big time financially, hurt big time, where I had to start selling cars, and that's a fact. And I had a hard time paying my taxes because I had so much debt. So I ended up owing the county that I live in $80,000. That was like, over a year and a half's time. So I had backdated taxes because my business revenues, my income, it was so challenging during the pandemic when everything got shut down. So I gave it, $40,000+, $60,000, $80,000. So, and it continues on. Okay. So for me, the amount of money I have contributed to my locality of just personal property tax, it's massive. So I'm a giver there. Then I think to myself, the insurance. I'm sure some people are like, oh my God, your insurance. Yes. Think how much money I give the insurance companies. I give every one of these cars has to be insured. Do you think that truck right there is $1,000 a year? Do you want to, I have a company as well. So these are registered in company names. You can start spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 just in one vehicle for insurance. So for me, I'm a huge giver to the insurance industry. If you look at me, for all the salespeople I deal with on a consistent basis, like Coons Baltimore Ford, the Jeep Ram dealership, Muhammad, Derek, I can just start naming names. The finance people, Jake, Steve, a list of people that get rewarded from my purchases through the commissions on the sales of these vehicles. And then I give them support on the back end of buying extended warranty or extended service. Sometimes not on everything, but most of the time. Then I get the gap insurance. So I'm giving. So you just start adding up the numbers. I'm just using this last year and a half. I'm not talking about the last 10 years. So the amount of monies that I'm contributing, giving others, it's in so many ways, it's a lot of money. So I'm a giver, and that's what kind of, once again, think to myself this morning, we're at the time of year where hopefully you're the family that has a big Thanksgiving and everybody shows up and you're all giving to support the food. We have the Veterans Day where we look to those that served us and gave themselves for the better of us. But I think to myself as well, on the giving aspect, I think it's incredible how we're at the Ice Age transition into the EV age. And if you watch my channel, CarMate, I met a gentleman named Todd that has a YouTube channel. Just kind of got it going. I don't know if you're watching my channel or not, but you are. Great meeting you, Todd. And I did a F-150 Lightning review on his truck. And I watched him, and I didn't tell him who I was. And I laid very low. And I just wanted to see how he talked about his truck. And I was very impressed because he did know a lot of the language and lingo of the truck. And he did a great job. And he's very enthusiastic about it. So that's great. Now, he's excited. A lot of other people aren't excited. And, I mean, maybe some people on my car show thing didn't even get excited to even watch that, okay? I kind of can get that, understand that. But here's the whole point. The Ice Age is giving to the EV age more than ever. It's such the irony that us Ice Age people are creating the EV age. And, how does that... how can you say that? So my thoughts are, I'm going to get upstairs, keep the video going. Here's the yesterday. If I had a road, I'd have been so tempted to ride this Rocket. This thing goes in Thursday for its first service. And what would have been really cool is to take this Triumph down and get my Indian Pursuit. But I just don't think the Indian Pursuit steering head thing is a problem. I think it's more of the engineering of the way the airflow is hitting the front end of that bike with those lowers. I'd be willing to bet that's some type of, airflow, circulation, whatever the engineering. I'm not an engineer. Just, all right, dogs, come on, get up here. And probably should get the heat going. Had a great weekend. I really lucked out because I didn't work all weekend. And sometimes I do, but I did other projects that I just told you about with the Indian Challenger. And all right, so let's get that down and let's have the Ice Age that takes care of the EV age. And it's really incredible how many articles are really starting to prevail of the challenges of the EV age that are really happy. I mean, another heater over here, cool morning. It's supposed to be a cool day. Let me get my camera thing here. And so, one thing I want to make sure that anybody out there watching my channel, I am not the anti-EV guy. I have the EV, vehicles. I am the anti-government, tells you how to live your life and they have all your answers. That's who I am. So anybody watching my channel that thinks that I'm bashing Tesla, bashing Lightning, no, that isn't the message. The message is more about how we have such incredible activists out there more than ever in our modern times with an administration that supports all these, in so many ways, radical views, in my opinion, that are bringing things that just aren't realistic. And so it's very interesting that we're starting to see how the big auto guys are raising their hand and the consumers are saying, we're not buying into the gig. And it's happening bigger than I think even myself thought would happen so quickly. Because it's just, there's so many videos. Lucky Lopez, this is a guy out there that, give the guy credit, he has a lot of knowledge, all the information. He's got a nice YouTube channel, Lucky Lopez. If you go there, you can see he'll give you some good stuff. And so, I'll go back to when I'm talking about the Ice Age helping the EV age. Well, as you know, us Ice Age people, if you buy these cars that don't meet the guidelines of the 18 miles per gallon average, then you pay a gas guzzler tax on a car. Trucks and SUVs are exempt from that as far as I know, but I haven't per se bought a Ram TRX high performance vehicle. Tried to get that deal done. They even tried to get on Saturday. It was like the one last straw, and it just didn't go down. But I'm not, it's like, yeah, whatever. The Ram TRX is going to be built again in 2024. There'll be a whole other day, and so a lot of whole other variables into the market I think is going to change. But it seems like it's so expensive. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. But here's the thing. For the Ice Age, so you pay a gas guzzler tax in so many ways. Those monies are going to the green agenda in so many ways. I mean, it goes, I guess, to the federal highway transportation. Where do those monies even go? I'm not even really sure. When you drive down the road in your gasoline car, you go to the gas station. I've talked about it many times. There's, in most states, there's close to 50 cents a gallon between state and local and federal tax on a gallon of gas. Go to California, I think it's like $1 a gallon in California because the state's just abusing the policies that they seem to like to do on so many other things for the agendas. But the point is, you and I are subsidizing the EV transition more than ever. And I've talked about it in great length on how Tesla had the carbon footprint credits to have the big ICE guys pay him every year for not meeting these stringent EPA green agenda guidelines for the manufacturers. So they had to pay Elon Musk, and that's kind of starting to change. So for you and I that own these ICE cars, in so many ways, we're shoveling the money to the other side of the equation, the green agenda. And that's what I talked about here the other day, is in so many ways, you really have to start really believing, we'll use Ford, is abusing the policies by making us ICE people pay a lot of money for their vehicles because their EV division is losing so much money, even though Ford separated the two divisions from being together. But at the same time, it's the same damn company. I mean, okay, one division's over there. If that company's losing $1 billion, they're claiming like $4 billion. Ford's claiming they lose $36,000 per Ford truck built. You hear the list of things of these manufacturers that are in the EV side and how much money they're losing. Okay, so then you just have to step back and say, okay, well, how long is that going to last? I mean, how long can Ford go for how many years? And don't get me wrong, Elon Musk, that guy was supposed to go bankrupt and broke many times. And at the last second, he didn't. This guy's always pulled it out. But Tesla's got some challenges. And I've talked about that as well, and how Tesla, the $130,000 car is now 90, $129 is now 99 or whatever, $30,000 differences on the price of a brand new car within a year's time. And everybody owns those Teslas that bought them last year at the 130. They are not happy that their car is being quoted of 60, 70 grand value because the new ones are in the $90,000 range. Yeah, how do you feel about that, Tesla owners? Wow, for Elon Musk, because he's having to discount his cars. So the giving side of the ICE age, we at Ford, just like me, I told you many times, that Ford Power Boost F-150 truck is beyond believable. That thing's like $84,000. I mean, beyond unbelievable. And Ford continues in so many ways to raise their prices. But breaking news, Ford is now kind of taming down the F-150 prices. Oh, breaking news, the 1st of January, when you go buy an EV vehicle, you get an instant $7,500 tax credit. Okay, now who's giving the tax credits? Who's paying for you to go buy an EV? Okay, I mean, how does that work, right? So yes, right now the policy is if you buy an electric truck and if the car is under $55,000, you get a full tax credit. I think that's like $3,500. Maybe it's $7,500. You have to go to the truck side, SUV side, to get a certain threshold. If you go over a threshold, then you don't get qualified. If you and the wife make over 300 grand a year, you don't qualify. But here's the thing: first of the year, the dealerships are going to be allowed to get the tax credit immediately from the federal government to take $7,500 off your truck or car if you pass those prerequisites I just told you. Wow. I mean, so there's another, in so many ways, you as an individual are subsidizing the EV agenda. The Inflation Reduction Act. I've talked a gazillion times about the Inflation Reduction Act on my YouTube channel, aka the new Green Deal in so many ways. Joe Biden, aka Barack Obama, George Soros, who even knows? We can go through the list of the individuals, Greta Thunberg or Dumberg or whatever, all these people that have created this so-called Inflation Reduction Act. It's asking all the taxpayers to subsidize all the infrastructure for the green agenda, aka battery manufacturing, new car manufacturing, solar panel manufacturing, semiconductor chip manufacturing. So you're giving, you and us in this country, we're giving like never seen before. Which we'll kind of get a little bit maybe into that a little more as I get to the end of the video. But here's what's really interesting. Lucky Lopez, he's talking about the insurance. I was just talking about the insurance out there, and I never even thought about this. So if it wasn't for Lucky Lopez, I wouldn't even have the content to talk on this aspect. But he claims, this just blows me away, if you're on a Rivian truck and somebody hits like the right rear back side of that truck, that right rear panel on the bed of that truck, I think it's just a whole new bed, personally. I think it's a modular bed. But he claims it's like $25,000 or $28,000 for repair. He claims if the person actually goes all the way down the side of the truck, it's $70,000 repair. Wow. So apparently the insurance industry is really starting to catch on to this. And if people are buying these Rivians, Teslas, they're starting to get a kind of a shock of an insurance bill because the insurance industry is getting killed by these vehicles that are electric that are so minuscule in the dominance of the marketplace where it isn't the infrastructure of just gazillions of parts sitting around. They're interchangeable, and how it has to be sent to a specific shop that knows how to rebuild an electric car. So, I never, like I said, I never even thought. I said, wow. So if you own a Rivian, if you watch my channel, I only hope you don't get in a crash, because if you get in a crash, it's going to be a major insurance bill. And, don't get me wrong, I'm not here wishing harm on anybody, but at the same time, wow, Tesla, there's so many stories of the Teslas that get crashed. People lose their Tesla for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, even some people up to a year, because Tesla just doesn't have the infrastructure of having these cars out there forever in all the body shops. It has to be a specialty body shop. Wow. Good Lord. Whoever thought of that, right? How much can you give of your patience? How much can you give of your income that now you start to realize these EV vehicles on the crash aspect is going to possibly be more than you can give, if you understand that. So, back to us as individuals giving. Does it seem like more than ever our country's giving everything away? Sincerely, what is going on? I just talked about the Inflation Reduction Act, which that's about the taxpayers giving the green agenda, the green light, to take a lot of money to subsidize their businesses to hopefully one day they become a profitable business. But what if they don't? What if they don't? How does that play out? Who pays the bill besides the taxpayers? Right now, I think we're giving every illegal immigrant a heck of an opportunity to come to our country and not have to go through the real due process of how to become a legal citizen. We're giving monies now, not only to the Ukraine-Russia war, now we're giving it to Israel. In some ways, people are wanting the Palestinians. Have you seen what's going on downtown with all the people that are protesting over the Jewish, Palestinian conflict? So we're giving a ton of money. There's no doubt, anybody abreast of the real reality of our country, we've always have given aid, foreign aid to other countries. This didn't start yesterday, but it just seems like more than ever, we're giving so much of our monies to others' huge challenges and problems. Here's the latest. So Zelensky is calling out Donald Trump. Donald Trump said if he got reelected, he would have the whole Russia-Ukraine war would be stopped within 24 hours. So Zelensky is like, wow, I want to know how to do this. So apparently Zelensky has invited Donald Trump to, I guess, Ukraine or to somewhere to meet to figure out how he gets to 24-hour, end of the war. Yeah. Well, how would that, how does that play out? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. So, as far as the EV industry, and this is from the Lucky Lopez video I watched last night. He talks about how, which I've talked about it as well. I'm not as big as he is. He's got a good, size customer base, but I've talked about it. I've shared with you how in the local area there's 500 plus Mach-E's on the dealer lot. I've shared with you on how the F-150 truck, there's 100 plus and certain, you go back a year and a half ago, and you'd be so lucky to get one of these trucks. You go back to the release of the F-150 truck, be so lucky you even get your reservation in, and you're not 3 years away. Well, that's all changed. It's all changed. Lucky Lopez is saying there's 46,000 F-150 trucks sitting on lots throughout the country. The overall EV inventory on dealer lots is now at the 120-day. Average time of an ICE vehicle is anywhere from 20 to 35 days on a dealer's lot. And then, even for me, I think, I don't know, man. Is that number still really, I think things are really, slowing down. What is going on? In my immediate area here, what the people have seemed to have stopped giving. And what I mean by that is, it seems like the local area here for the car dealerships and motorcycle dealerships, they're not giving their money away. And what I've heard from one of my sales guys is that a lot of these people are so federally, based on their income, whether they're a federal employee or a contractor, they're very concerned because my wife actually informed me this. I thought that the parties of reconciling the new federal budget for the country was going to be the end of the November arguments. She told me it's November 17th. So right now, so I don't even know. Even I've questioned my wife saying that. So right now, we have until November 17th, which today, that's 11 days from now, to have the two parties come to an agreement of where all the monies are going for the next federal fiscal year budget for the federal government. I don't know. There's so much going on other aspects of everything else. It's hard to. Can you keep track? Can you even keep track of what the hell's going on anymore? There's just so much going on around us. And tomorrow is a big election day for the Virginia area. So that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. So anyways, the giving, the government giving everybody their guaranteed incomes, is that going to change on November 17th where the federal government goes into a shutdown? We realize or not, the federal government has shut down, many times over the years. Even the point that they've been shut down close to 6 weeks at one time. That was many, many years ago. So are the car dealerships in my area, are they feeling this giving, that loving feeling of giving has dissipated? Here's another one. The Wingman, he's an RV guy that likes to help people figure out what RV to buy, what dealer to deal with, the RV adventures. So he did a little video last night that I watched that showed him talking to an RV dealer, and the RV dealer in so many ways. The guy, he had to be, the guy was very sincere. He's like, it's over. He didn't say that, but he's like, it's slow. He's like, it's slow. It's like the customers that used to be on the lot, they're not here anymore. He was very sincere. So the RV industry, is it getting ready just to implode? Are we getting ready to literally see the giving? We've given so much that we've given too much, and it's beyond believable what we're getting ready to witness. I don't know. So many gloomer doomers have been predicting this now for over 2 years. So I'm going to leave it at that. So it's the giving, taking. It's a giving conversations. It's another, Monday morning. Get the creativity of talking and what do I bring to the table, and I appreciate those people that watch my channel. And so what are we doing next? What's the next adventure, right? And really this week I'd have to say that it's more about getting the Indian Pursuit to come to closure. And what's really interesting is Saturday morning I woke up, for me, and the light went off my head. So you know what? Do I just trade the Indian Pursuit for the Indian Dark Horse Roadmaster, which I used to have, the red one? That's the icon of my YouTube channel. It's an Indian first year out look-alike Harley Dark Horse Roadmaster. It's just like a full tour Harley Davidson motorcycle. Do I trade the Pursuit for that, or do I tell Indian? But then my friend Chris tells me that on Tuesday, tomorrow, Indian's doing a reveal of the new models coming. So then I'm like, oh, okay, well, so I'm really, I've been an Indian guy, and even I've gotten very frustrated with him, but the Indian Challenger really has kind of brought me back to, Indian product is a really nice product. I got to get through this Pursuit challenge, and what would Indian give me? Are they going to give me my money back? Are they going to give me a new? So in some, I'm sure, be like, I wouldn't take anything from Indian. I was at that point, and so I rode that challenge, and now I'm more like, no. So it's going to be, this week will be very interesting to see how that kind of plays out. So it will be the giving week or the taking back week, and I can't even remember. Do I have the taken conversations? That's what I was just talking about. We've given so much. Where's it going next? And that's the whole conversation that you hear in these videos. is how many people are having their things taken back. Wow. All right, everybody, I'm kind of leaving it at that. And so, anyways, for this week, what are the adventures? What's being bought? What's not being bought? I think I've exhausted my financial resources at the Dodge dealership. None of the banks are buying deals anymore. That's what's going on. The banks won't buy the deals. So we realize they're not even trading a vehicle. They won't buy the deal. So the banks really aren't giving out loans like they used to. I can't emphasize that enough. That this Ram TRX deal, we had a deal put together with equity of a vehicle I have to trade that Ram TRX. And it'd be swap a note for a note, and the bank won't do it. I'm talking about the same bank. So the same bank that has one of my vehicles with the amount of exposure that I own that vehicle, but I have good equity in that vehicle we could take and put it towards Ram TRX, the bank won't touch it. And I've never have missed a payment with them. My credit score isn't like anything in a shambles. What is going on? So the banks, kind of wrap it up here, the banks, they're not giving out the money like they used to. And this isn't anything new, I think, for many people that are more abreast in the banking industry to agree with that, because it's been happening for a while, but it seems to be getting worse. All right, there it is. So what adventure is next? I don't know. The Pursuit, but we'll talk about that later in the week. So, hey, part of me also says just call the dealership. Tell them I don't want them to do anything more with that bike. I mean, part of me just says, don't do any more to it. I'm done with Indians' attitude in this thing. Just tell them to buy it back or let me trade it for something else. That's the better idea if you ask me. But anyways, all right, have a great day. Stay safe. Yeah, stay safe. Watch your back. And God bless. Pray for a miracle. And for Tactical Mexican, Tactical Mex, I'm going to try to get the box in the UPS today to get to your residence, but I don't think you'll see that because you're in California. Maybe you're going to be home for the holidays. I have no idea. All right, hey, have a great day. God bless. Stay safe. Stay tuned.